So 7artisans sent me their 85mm f1.8 full frame lens for the Sony E-mount to review, and I've been using it for a few days now, and I've used this lens on a studio portrait shoot and just went out to grab some sample photos with this lens, and I just want to share my thoughts on it. Starting with the build of this lens, it's a premium filling lens. It's all metal construction. You have a 62mm filtered thread, and as well you have a toggle switch and a customizable button on the side of the lens with an aperture dial. However, the only problem I have with the aperture dial is it's declicked. And as a photographer, this is annoying because what I would like to have a tactile feedback coming from the aperture to know that you made a complete stop. On the back of the lens mount, you have a USB-C port for firmware updates, and this lens is not weather sealed. However, I am quite happy with the build of this lens. If you are familiar with the 7artisans 50mm f1.8 AF lens that was released several months ago, you're going to find that the 85mm to look very similar. When it comes to autofocusing with this lens, I find it to be quick and snappy. I've used this lens with my Sony a7C II, and that has the latest AI chipset in there for autofocusing tracking. I find that this lens did a great job at tracking the eye and grabbing focus and onto the iris during the studio shoot. However, your mileage may vary depending on what Sony camera you may have. Overall, I can't complain about the autofocusing system. It's been good for what I do, which is portrait photography and, travel and lifestyle stuff, which isn't too demanding. Now, when it comes to image quality, this lens is pretty good for the price. When I was reviewing some shots I took at the studio, I was again just surprised by the results. Like, damn, this came from like a 7artisans lens? This is incredible. The shot had good contrast. The images are crisp and full of detail. There is some chromatic aberrations with this lens. There is some light green and purple fringing when shooting this wide open. Stopping it down from anywhere from f2.8 to f4 makes it go away. Center sharpness is pretty good wide open, and combine this with the 85mm focal length with the f1.8, you're going to get some beautiful looking bokeh, and I'm quite impressed with the bokeh on this lens. It's really smooth, it's nice transitions, it gives you that nice and dreamy look that you want for your portraits. Overall, I am quite impressed with what 7artisans have been doing with their autofocusing lens lately. I was very satisfied with the images that were produced by this lens. And at the moment, I don't have the price on me, but if I do, I'll leave it up somewhere right here for you guys to take a look at. But I'm going to make an educated guess and say that it's around like $250 to $300, which I find to be pretty good for a full frame, for an 85mm full frame lens. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're interested in this lens, I'll leave the links to this down in the description as well. And consider subscribing for more Fuji and Sony content like this. And thanks so much.